Do you ever have doubts in your mind about how someone really feels about you, despite their friendly exterior? Maybe it's the subtle pranks they play on you, or the way they're always too busy when you need them. These moments make us wonder about their true feelings. Today, we're going to dive into the hidden signs that someone might not like you and how you can spot them. We'll explore how Stoic philosophy can help you navigate these difficult situations with grace and self-respect. By understanding these signals, you'll be better equipped to protect your emotional health and maintain inner peace, no matter how others behave. Let's dive in. 1. They're always joking about your flaws. Have you ever felt a twinge of unease when someone constantly jokes about your imperfections? At first, you might laugh along, not wanting to seem overly sensitive. But over time, the jokes start to feel less like light-hearted teasing and more like veiled criticisms. This situation often leaves you questioning, are they just being playful, or is there something deeper at work? Humor, when used appropriately, can bring people closer and strengthen relationships. However, when humor consistently focuses on your vulnerabilities, it can be a sign that someone harbors hidden resentment or dislike. Instead of openly addressing their feelings, they may choose to make subtle jabs at your flaws under the guise of just joking. Recognizing this can empower you to take control of your emotions and protect your well-being. Imagine this scenario. You've been working on a project for weeks, and when you finally present it to your team, a colleague makes a joke about a small mistake you made early on. Everyone laughs, including you, but deep down, it stings. It's not the first time they've brought up this mistake, and each time they do, it feels like a reminder of your shortcomings rather than a playful comment. This is a prime example of how jokes can serve as a mask for hidden negativity, making you question the real intent behind their words. In Stoicism, we are taught to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. Stoic philosophy reminds us that we cannot control how others behave, but we can control how we respond. Instead of internalizing these jokes and letting them affect our self-esteem, Stoicism encourages us to see them for what they truly are, the reflection of the other person's character, not ours. The Stoic Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This principle of Stoicism can be applied directly to situations where people joke about your flaws. When faced with such behavior, rather than allowing it to eat away at your confidence, take a step back and evaluate the intent behind the words. Are they coming from a place of kindness or from hidden disdain? If it's the latter, it's important to stand up for yourself by setting clear boundaries. You might say something like, "I know you're joking, but I'd appreciate it if we didn't make light of that topic. It's something I take seriously." By addressing the issue calmly and confidently, you reclaim control of the situation, setting a standard for how you expect to be treated. In this way, you embody the Stoic ideal of focusing on your own behavior and responses, rather than being swayed by the actions of others. So, the next time someone jokes about your flaws, pause and reflect. Is it truly harmless, or is there something more behind it? Then, take control, respond thoughtfully, set boundaries, and don't allow anyone else's disguised negativity to disrupt your inner peace. In doing so, you'll not only protect your confidence, but also cultivate healthier, more honest connections with those around you. 2. They give compliments that sting like insults. In the realm of subtle human interactions, words often carry more weight than we initially realize. Sometimes, a seemingly flattering comment leaves us unsettled, as though beneath the surface lies a hidden barb. These moments aren't just social missteps. They can reveal deeper truths about the people we interact with. Instead of falling into confusion or frustration, Stoic philosophy offers a calm, measured way to understand and navigate these situations. You've likely encountered this scenario before. A comment that sounds positive but leaves you questioning yourself. For example, "That's quite a bold choice," might seem like praise at first glance, but underneath it lingers a sense of critique or disapproval. Stoicism teaches that such backhanded compliments often arise from the speaker's internal conflicts, such as jealousy or insecurity. Rather than letting these words disturb your peace, Stoics remind us to pause, reflect, and remember that it is not the comment itself that holds power. It is how we react to it that matters. Picture this. You're at a family gathering, and someone says, "You're so patient with your kids. I could never handle the chaos." The surface-level praise about your parenting skills quickly turns into a comment that makes you question your methods, subtly suggesting that your household is disorganized. A Stoic would remind you to take a step back and evaluate the intention behind the words without letting them affect your self-worth. Epictetus taught that we cannot control what others say or think about us, but we can control how much value we place on their opinions. Instead of reacting emotionally to such veiled insults, Stoicism encourages reflection and emotional resilience. When we receive backhanded compliments, it's a chance to practice self-mastery, one of the core virtues of Stoicism. By staying grounded and not allowing others' words to disturb our peace, we maintain our sense of self-worth. In Stoicism, this is seen as an exercise in indifference to external opinions, because ultimately it is our own judgment that defines us, not what others may imply through their thinly veiled critiques. In the professional world, this dynamic is even more pronounced. Imagine receiving a compliment like, "You got the promotion? I guess you're in the right place at the right time." While it acknowledges your achievement, the subtle insinuation that it was luck rather than hard work can leave you feeling conflicted. From a Stoic perspective, the best response is to remain calm and indifferent, understanding that such remarks reveal more about the speaker's character than about your abilities or success. When we embrace Stoic principles, we also learn to distance ourselves from the need for external validation. This doesn't mean we should be cold or indifferent to praise, but we should be discerning, recognizing when compliments are genuine and when they are laced with hidden meaning. The ability to remain composed and focused on our own inner values, rather than being swayed by others' perceptions, is one of the ultimate goals of Stoicism. As you reflect on your own experiences, ask yourself, how often have these subtle insults disguised as compliments shaken your confidence? More importantly, how can you cultivate a mindset that allows you to rise above such negativity? The Stoic path teaches us that our power lies in how we respond, not in the words of others. By mastering our reactions, we can maintain inner peace and resilience, no matter the intentions behind others' words. Yet, beyond verbal interactions, there's another form of subtle harm that can deeply affect our sense of belonging: social exclusion. Just as backhanded compliments can leave us questioning our worth, being excluded from plans by those we consider close can strike at a more personal level. This kind of exclusion often comes with subtle signs that make us doubt our value within the group, much like the veiled criticisms discussed earlier. 3. They subtly exclude you from plans. It's the little things that sting the most, like realizing that your so-called friends accidentally forgot to invite you to that dinner, that party, or that weekend getaway. They'll swear it was an oversight, that it was a last-minute thing, or worse, they'll assume you were too busy anyway. But let's be real, these aren't accidents. This is social exclusion in its sneakiest form, and it's a clear sign that you're not as valued as you think. I've been on the receiving end of this too many times. I remember checking my phone one weekend and seeing pictures of a group of friends having a great time at an event I would have loved to attend. The kicker? Not a single person mentioned it to me beforehand. When I casually brought it up later, they were full of excuses. "Oh, we thought you were busy," or "it was such a last-minute plan." But deep down, I knew the truth. If they wanted me there, they would have made sure I knew about it. And here's where the controversy comes in. This kind of exclusion isn't just thoughtlessness. It's deliberate. It's a way of sending a message without saying a word. They don't want you there, but they don't have the guts to tell you to your face. Instead, they hope you'll just fade out of the group quietly without causing a scene. It's passive-aggressive, and it's cowardly, but it's also incredibly common. People don't talk about this much because it's easier to pretend it's not happening. It's easier to swallow the excuses, to convince yourself that it really was just an oversight. But let's face it, if someone consistently forgets to include you, it's not an accident. They're making a choice, and that choice is to keep you out. The deep truth here is that this behavior is a reflection of their feelings toward you, not your worth. If they valued you, they wouldn't leave you out. They wouldn't make excuses. They would make an effort to include you in their lives. And here's the reality. You don't need to chase after people who don't genuinely want you around. It's a hard lesson to learn, but it's one that's essential for your well-being. When you recognize this pattern, it's a wake-up call to reassess your relationships. Are they really friendships worth maintaining, or are they just convenient connections for them? If you're always on the outside looking in, it's time to find new circles where you're genuinely welcomed and appreciated. I had to make that shift myself. It meant stepping back from relationships that weren't mutual and focusing on building connections with people who value my presence. It was tough, but it was necessary. So next time you find yourself on the receiving end of this kind of social exclusion, don't just brush it off. Recognize it for what it is, and make the choice to prioritize relationships where you're truly valued. You deserve to be surrounded by people who want you in their lives, not those who just keep you around as an afterthought. 4. They're always busy when you need them. Have you ever reached out for support, only to find that the person you were counting on is always too busy? This recurring scenario might not just reflect their busy schedule, but could suggest deeper feelings about your relationship. It's heart-wrenching, especially when you desperately need them and they're not there. In today's fast-paced world, distinguishing between someone genuinely overwhelmed and someone selectively available is crucial. If you notice that someone always seems to make time for others but consistently avoids you, this behavior may be revealing their true feelings. Being consistently sidelined doesn't just sting. It shakes the very foundation of what you believed your relationship was built on. Consider how often this person appears available to others while remaining unavailable to you. What feelings emerge when they dismiss your needs with a quick, "Sorry, I'm just too swamped right now"? It's possible that their busyness is not a circumstance but a choice. Take, for instance, a friend you've known for years who always seems to have an excuse ready when you ask for help or suggest catching up. "I wish I could, but I'm tied up," they say. Yet their social media paints a different picture, full of outings and gatherings. This painful inconsistency might reveal where you truly stand in their list of priorities. Observing how they interact with others versus how they interact with you can be quite telling. Expressing how you feel about being sidelined and seeing how they respond can provide significant insights. If you continue to see a pattern of indifference, it might be time to reassess the value you're getting from this relationship. Perhaps your emotional investments would be better placed elsewhere, in relationships that reciprocate your commitment and affection. Realizing that someone may not value your relationship as much as you do can be freeing. It liberates you from the frustration of unmet expectations and the pain of one-sided efforts. This realization empowers you to invest your time and energy in nurturing relationships that offer mutual respect and support. Reflecting on these experiences can be both comforting and enlightening. Have you encountered similar situations where someone was always too busy for you? How did you handle realizing their indifference or reluctance to prioritize your relationship? Sharing your story can provide comfort and guidance to others facing similar challenges, inspiring them to cultivate more rewarding connections. 5. They avoid physical contact. Have you ever felt someone withdraw when you offer a handshake or attempt a friendly hug? Physical contact plays a vital role in human connection, serving as a means to build trust and rapport. A simple touch can create bonds, yet when someone persistently avoids it, this can be a strong non-verbal sign of discomfort or even dislike, though they may never openly express it. In our fast-paced, increasingly digital world, we often overlook body language, including the avoidance of touch, as an important communication tool. This avoidance is particularly telling. If you've ever encountered someone who recoils at the slightest contact, a pat on the shoulder or a handshake, it's likely you sensed an underlying tension or disconnection. Take, for instance, a colleague who consistently avoids shaking your hand at work, or a friend who pulls away from an embrace. These actions, though subtle, often speak louder than words. Reflect on a time when you noticed someone avoiding physical contact with you. How did that make you feel? Uncertain, perhaps even uncomfortable. While avoidance of touch can be attributed to personal preference, it often stems from deeper feelings: dislike, discomfort, or emotional distance. As Stoics, we're encouraged to observe these cues objectively, without letting them affect our inner peace. The key is not to take such behavior personally, but to recognize it as part of the human experience. In a professional environment, imagine a colleague who consistently keeps physical distance, refrains from handshakes, or subtly moves away during conversations. Instead of reacting emotionally or feeling rejected, the Stoic approach advises us to remain calm and curious. There could be numerous reasons for this behavior: personal discomfort, boundaries, or even unspoken tension. Understanding this gives you the chance to adjust your approach, either respecting their space or opening a dialogue to address the underlying issue. How does it feel when someone avoids touching you in a casual interaction? Have you ever found yourself doing the same when you're uncomfortable around someone? These questions invite reflection. Touch is more than a gesture. It's a communication of warmth, acceptance, or, in its absence, discomfort and rejection. Recognizing these signals enables us to navigate relationships more effectively, allowing us to adjust our behavior to create more harmonious interactions. The next time you're in a social or professional setting, pay attention to how others respond to physical contact. If you notice someone frequently avoiding it, consider it a sign that there might be emotional barriers at play. Instead of reacting hastily, approach the situation with openness and understanding. The Stoic mindset reminds us that we cannot control how others behave, but we can control our responses. By observing without judgment, you can approach interactions with more clarity and compassion. Ultimately, recognizing these subtle cues helps you navigate your relationships with greater wisdom. It allows you to be more adaptable while maintaining emotional balance. The Stoic practice is about accepting what you cannot control, other people's reactions, and focusing on how you can respond thoughtfully. This sense of self-control and insight offers a profound freedom. You are no longer bound by the fear of rejection or discomfort, but can move through life with confidence and calm. Have you noticed someone avoiding physical contact with you? Share your experience, And let's discuss how understanding these signs can improve our relationships and personal growth. 6. They disappear. When you need support, when life gets tough, it's natural to turn to those you trust for support. Yet it's in these moments of vulnerability that you might discover something unsettling. The people you count on suddenly vanish. This isn't just about a busy schedule, it reveals something deeper about their priorities and feelings toward you. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control others' actions, we have full control over our responses. The absence of support from those who claim to care provides an opportunity to reflect on the authenticity of those relationships. Picture a time when you were in crisis, reaching out for help, only to be met with silence. In today's world of constant digital connections, this kind of absence can highlight an unwillingness to engage emotionally or invest in your well-being. This is a sign, not of their lack of time, but of their lack of genuine care. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Instead of fixating on the disappointment, consider Marcus Aurelius's advice. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. These moments allow you to cultivate your own strength and virtues. Re-evaluate the people in your life. Those who disappear in tough times might not deserve the space they occupy. Invest your time and energy into relationships that are mutually supportive and genuinely enriching. The pain of realizing someone isn't as supportive as you thought can feel like a loss, but it's also liberating. It frees you to focus on relationships that truly matter while reinforcing your emotional independence. Stoicism guides us through disappointments by teaching us to build inner resilience. As you strengthen your ability to navigate challenges independently, you'll experience not just stability, but a deep sense of empowerment and freedom. If you're ready to embrace this mindset, type "I commit to cultivating authentic relationships" in the comments below. Let's build a community that uplifts and supports one another. Share your story or how you plan to nurture meaningful connections in your life. Together, we can create a space where every member is valued and truly supported. 7. They gossip about you behind your back. Have you ever felt the sting of realizing people you trust are talking behind your back? It's like an invisible wound, cutting deep into your sense of self and your reputation. I've experienced this firsthand. I once confided in someone, only to later find out that my private thoughts were being twisted and shared. It was a painful moment, and it felt like a betrayal. But what really got me through it was the philosophy of Stoicism. In today's world of social media, gossip spreads faster than ever. It's a passive-aggressive way for people to air grievances without confronting you directly. While it hurts, Stoicism offers a different approach to dealing with it. Instead of being consumed by anger, hurt, or confusion, Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus teach us to focus on what we can control, our reactions. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you hear gossip about yourself, it's natural to feel upset, but you don't have to let it define you. The Stoic approach is about building emotional resilience, not confrontation. I remember feeling the urge to lash out, to confront the person who betrayed me. But then I reflected on Epictetus, who faced severe adversity as a slave, yet never let others' actions define his emotional state. He believed that while others can hurt your body or reputation, they cannot touch your inner self. Your character and integrity remain yours. So, when you find yourself the subject of gossip, ask yourself, does this really change who I am? More often than not, the answer is no. Stoicism teaches us to control our thoughts and actions, and to remember that we are not defined by others' opinions. This week, try something different. If you hear gossip about yourself, resist the urge to react emotionally or confront the person. Instead, take a moment to reflect. Focus on your own values and remember that their words do not have the power to change who you are. By doing so, you're practicing true strength and freedom. Think back to the last time you were affected by gossip. How did it impact your emotions and actions? What could you have done differently to stay calm and centered? If you're ready to break free from the negativity of gossip, embrace stoicism and move forward with peace and resilience. 8. They're constantly competitive with you. Have you ever felt that someone around you is always trying to outdo you in every situation? It seems like they never miss an opportunity to prove themselves, even when you've achieved something significant. This constant competition can be exhausting, especially when it comes from someone you sense has a hidden dislike for you. In today's world, competition is an inevitable part of life, where everyone feels the need to assert their value. But when this competition becomes relentless, it can leave you feeling threatened and unfairly treated. Consider a scenario at work. You've just completed a major project and received praise from your boss. Immediately after, a colleague starts talking about another project they've worked on, emphasizing their own achievements and challenges. This can overshadow your recognition and may even trigger feelings of inadequacy and stress. Behind such competitive behavior may lie a deep-seated fear of failure or a strong desire to be acknowledged more than you. If you find yourself constantly facing relentless competition from someone, take a moment to reflect on that relationship. Sometimes, clear communication and setting boundaries are necessary to protect your mental well-being. Focus on your personal growth and skill development without letting unhealthy comparisons affect you. Doing so can bring confidence and inner peace. Recognizing and managing unhealthy competition not only helps reduce stress, but also provides a sense of freedom and self-satisfaction. Understanding others' motives and concentrating on your own progress can make you feel more confident and less impacted by unfair comparisons. Don't hesitate to share your experiences with us. Have you encountered a similar situation? Leave a comment and let us know how you navigated these challenges. Together, we can learn and support each other in building positive relationships and growing stronger. Use the signs and stoic methods we discussed to identify and handle situations where someone may secretly dislike you. By applying these principles, you'll maintain your self-respect and enjoy a more peaceful, fulfilling life. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more content on Stoicism.